Thank you for listening to the TTalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't a daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Woohoo! Yeah, we have made it back again. Good evening. My name is Alex DeLuca, and once again, welcome back to T-Talks.
And this is Rafael from Hollywood, Florida, saying good morning, good evening, good night.
Yes. Good evening, everybody from the west and the east coast of Florida to the rest of the states. Oh, the crowd is going crazy. We're going crazy today. It's unbelievable. They're so excited. We have so many good topics to touch base. 30 minutes, action-packed. We do it for that one person that takes something away from every episode. Ladies and gentlemen, you have us live, edited, unedited, uncut, raw. T-Talks, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Alex, I was going to ask you how all the altcoins are doing, but I think they're all hovering in the area that we like.
Yeah, they're all hanging out today. I think the NASDAQ barely hung on to positive number. Did the Dow dip below? I'm not sure what it did, but it's uncertain times in the economic area. What's keeping this country afloat? The government's helping. People are getting their shots. COVID is starting to become a normal thing in society. How do we move forward? That's the question. We keep talking about left and right, and digital. Everybody's going digital. Make sure you have the website up, running. Make sure it's good, likable, livable, and that's huge, and that's right on par. But we're trying to get back to post-COVID life. We talk about it all the time.
And yesterday we talked about canvassing and kind of getting back to normal and going out, and a lot of times the retail mentality is that you kind of sit there and wait for people to come in. Canvassing mentality is go out there and get them.
Go out there and get it. That's one thing that I can never be broke for, because I know how to knock on doors. I'm humble enough to do it, got the energy, the enthusiasm, still got the young legs behind me, and we're going to go make some money no matter what, product it is. It can be done, and I'll prove it. We should make bets, let's take online bets. Give me a product. I can't wait to watch, I have it recorded, the Grant Cardone. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that? He's doing his from zero to, what is it, millions in 90 days or something like that?
Oh, really?
On the Discovery Channel.
Yeah,
he's trying to do it again.
Nice.
We'll see what it does.
Yesterday we talked about canvassing the different key ingredients for a successful canvassing program, and we talked about organization, we talked about measurements, we talked about lead management, we talked about team leaders, and now we're going to talk about hiring and selection.
Hiring and selection. This is one that we can go on. Hiring selection, it's really it's the make or break. It's the first amount that you start, to put in the sweat equity. It's all the numbers game starts. Who do you have in front of you?
That's huge when it comes to having the right person. Having the right person in front of you is going to make or break your organization, but who's responsible for that?
Who is
responsible for having that person?
Who's responsible? Is it your HR person? Is it you?
Well, it really depends on the size of the organization, but at the end, the ultimate the ultimate person is whoever's writing that check.
That's it.
That's um, the ultimate decision maker, and hopefully you made the right decision in putting a person that in charge of the canvassing team, and you have an HR department that understands that they're there for support. They're not there to hire. And I seen this really, really where, and I hate to deviate, but I have to bring it in, is that I've seen companies that are run by HR, and the sales team, the sales manager is kind of tied behind their back because they're, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, but yet you expect them to give you the results, but they don't have the power to do whatever they need to do. Now, of course, let's just be clear. Things have to be clear. Things have to be legit, and they have to follow certain guidelines, such as human resource, because there are a lot of guidelines, and it is the responsibility of the organization to make sure that each member of management understands some of the key points about HR, the things that you can do, the things that you can't do. I mean, I don't know if you ever gone to an HR class that tells you the things that, especially for hiring, some of the questions that you can ask, some of the questions you can't ask. And I've seen it too many times where you kind of put people right into the position of hiring and don't give them the backbone, or at least, the basic of the things that they should know about HR. And that's a huge liability for the organization.
Huge. And HR, the hiring, we've dealt with hiring on a couple different levels and who handles what. But getting back to the topic, hello, how you doing? So getting back to the topic, the interview the candidates, first by the phone, definitely removes the emotion out of it. In everybody, a canvasser can actually, graduate once they learn the script. Everybody can learn the script, but can somebody get out there and bust on 100 doors in 4 hours is the question. You got to test their endurance, the pace, everything.
Well, and it's as simple as it may sound, you are looking for certain characteristics, because it's not just knowing the script, it's a matter of how they interact with that person that's in front of them. Because anybody can a 45-second spiel, after so many times, you're gonna learn it. I mean, it might take you a day, it might take you 2 days, it might take you a week, it might take you a month, but at one point or another, you're gonna know it. The question is not so much about knowing the script. I mean, that's one aspect of it, is what to do to read in between the lines. And the script just gives them the confidence level that they need to go out there and just spill the beans. The way I say it, that they know that this script has worked and has produced thousands, if not millions of dollars in the past. So, you're going with a winner. So what that does is just brings that level of confidence to that individual when they're in front of that prospective, client.
No, 100%.
So, the first place that usually you want to kind of gauge is, as you said it earlier, is that phone interview. You actually, even though you're setting up an appointment, if you're in charge of the canvassing team, you should be responsible of calling and pre-screening every single person that you're trying to get into your team. Do not delegate it to somebody else. You want to go ahead and you want to hear that voice. You want to hear how they're acting. And on the phone, it's a little bit blinded, but you're probably going to see a real person instead of when they come. And if you're doing, face-to-face interviews, they might be a little bit nervous, and you might not get a complete feel or sense of that individual. But hopefully, you're kind of taking notes on that phone interview or pre-screening to know if this person I should bring it in or not. Because what do you need for that person to be when they're in front of that, in front of that door? You want them to be cheapy, really excited. They have to speak clear. They have to be able to communicate. If you can't understand
100%.
them on the phone, the chances that somebody's not going to understand them on the phone, face to face.
That's a fact.
We always talk about the people that have made money in the past
Mm-hmm.
and have made good money in the past are going to be hungry enough to go and get, that extra spiff or commission or whatever, you implement with that canvassing team. If you get somebody who's making, $10 an hour, and let's say you're offering $12 an hour, they're not really incentivized. They're actually making more money just being there. So they really don't care.
They really don't care at the
They
end of the
don't.
day.
They don't. They're like, oh, I'm here for the paycheck. And hopefully you're looking for entrepreneur type of mentality of people that are, willing to give 110%, and that they know they'll get rewarded for an extra effort that they put in. And not only that, but also they're looking out for the company because they do want to excel. If you're trying to get, somebody that's just picking up, I'm here just for the check, you know what? Just keep going.
Keep going.
It's true though.
There's the door.
I call anybody that's just there for the check. I just call them dead weight.
Oof.
And again, we're talking about in the canvassing sales arena. It doesn't necessarily mean in other departments. You can label them the same way. We're just specifically talking about in the canvassing world. If they're there for the check, they're not going to last long. They're going to be goners pretty soon. And
I hate, we've hired and trained for canvassing, commission based, hourly based, appointment based. I just really don't like paying an hourly for a canvassing position. I like paying the high commissions. You go out there, be able to make $700 for a shift. That's the opportunity that should be in front of you. The high ticket items, we talked about it yesterday. You got to get them to a realm where they're making, you, me, or anybody else is making enough money to provide for themselves and their family comfortably. Depending on where you live, that dollar mark can vary. But even in South Florida, $75,000 is a good mark to hit. If you can get your cameras to make 75 to 100 grand a year, they're not going anywhere. They only got to work 4 hours a day, put in the work, and if you canvas before, you know what I'm talking about. It's real money. It's there. No matter what industry you're in, home improvements is the sweet spot. High commissions, you name it. I got my thick skin knocking on doors when I was 18 years old, business to business, talking to business owners for telecom. So it's full circle. Canvassing, it's in my DNA. Ralph goes all the way back to the True Green days. I go all the way back to when AT&T and Bell South were two different companies pitching one to another with win-back credits, but knocking on doors, man. Look at these knuckles. There's knocking on door knuckles right there.
They actually sell a glove for door knocking, right?
Well, they got the little things now, like so you don't have to touch anything because of COVID, like a little metal thing. Got that on my keychain now.
Nice. All right, so hiring and selection. This is the make or break in this whole process. But more importantly, now that you have identify your potentials. Um, the next stage is training and coaching.
Training and coaching, retraining, and training all over again. I can't say it enough, huh? Well, let's get into this T Talk topic, Ralph.
Now, a lot of times, and I kind of gone through this scenario, and that's the reason why I try on the second day. I try to weed out anybody that is really not made out for canvassing, and
Second day, how do you do that so fast, Ralph?
well, the first day is all about learning the script, right? Learning about the
Okay.
company, and hopefully you put together some type of training, but a training schedule. So typically, the training shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 days. Believe it or not, I'm a firm believer that you first get them out there, you weed them out, and then you bring them back, and then you fine tune it to the point where it's productive. So how do you do it on the second day? It's real easy. First day,
How do you do it? How do you do it?
the first day is all about the company, about breaking down the script. Second day, you pair them, and you actually go out and you do some sample. I usually take a test area, a bad area. I know we've been there. I know they're not gonna buy. Not that I'm prejudging, but I just go out there and say, go knock on doors.
Go get it.
Go.
Feed him to the wolves.
Go.
Ho, ho, ho.
But what am I
Are you
supposed to
real?
say? I go read it on your clipboard. Your script is on your clipboard on the backside.
Oh man, Ralph, do you remember Phil?
Yeah.
Oh, do you use Phil's story when you were in training ever? The guy, what was he, 50 something when he came to us? Full gray hair, right?
Yes.
The guy did irrigation for golf courses, for crying out loud. He had dipped and dabbled in sales throughout his life, but old timer, stuck to the green golf course grass, made it green. I don't know how he came across him. Craigslist ad probably, who knows, right? PACE program, killing it. This is 2019, maybe 18 summer, not too sure. Opened up in this area called Plantation, Fort Lauderdale. This guy did not know nothing about sales. Maybe he did like 2 decades ago, but he's 20 years out of sales. Could talk your ear off about being hydrated. Didn't know anything about the home improvement company really. Long story short, get to the point, right? This program opened up an area called Plantation, a great area. Me and this guy, there's another girl involved, whatever, came up with, we're going to attack this area, do it like you're supposed to do it. We're going to knock on each door in this whole town and put a name on it. That guy had to make close to about 40 grand throughout a summer, just knocking on doors, part-time, 4, not even hours a day, but he hit every house until he had a homeowner answer the door at every house. It took him how many weeks did he do that in Plantation? Then he went back to Pembroke Pines. Pembroke Pines had been open up for about 4 years in the PACE program. He did the same thing in Pembroke Pines, the Perry Airport streets, all gridlocked the whole area and pulled out mad sales out of there. It's determination, it's the mindset. We talked about it yesterday, being organized, measuring his day. He did that to a T. How many houses did he knock on? How long did it take him to get through those houses? Because of how many conversations he had is the reason. If you had a conversation with him, he knew his number every single day. That guy worked at it. And he's just one of the great stories that we have throughout the canvassing realm of training and teaching. But, he was definitely the one on the older side to make it happen.
Well, and that just shows you that you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Well, and part of the training and coaching, it's imperative, especially when it comes to canvassing or sales. There's so many moving parts, and you got to make sure that those moving parts are at least taught to those, especially new canvassers, because they need to know. They need to know about the distance they're supposed to maintain. which way the door opens, which side of the door you're supposed to stand. Um, Everything kind of goes into those little pieces. They you put them together, and then you actually have a masterpiece. Okay, so think of it as couple strokes, several strokes creates a masterpiece. So you can have three people knock on the same door, and probably the one that goes and does all the different little things that you're supposed to do, that person probably will open the door for that individual.
Listen, it's crazy. You know, I learned this back in the telecom knocking on doors days. Look, it could be, it's not even your fault. You could have did everything right, but that person, somebody could have just kicked their cat. You never know. But then Tuesday comes around, Alex comes around excited, and he sets him up for an appointment. It's a numbers game, ladies and gentlemen. The same door is never burnt, basically, until it told you to F off right to your face. F off, Alex DeLuca. Never come back to my house again. That's it.
Or they got the service from somebody. Hopefully they got it from you. But
That's it.
you know, you won't knock on the door if it's a brand new roof or new windows.
You know, I love that you brought that up too, because that on one of the books that I'm reading right now, it talks about prejudges and don't prejudge, and you're there to sell a demonstration, nothing more than a demonstration when you're at the house, right? The worst thing that hits you is when you prejudge this person that they didn't get your product because you prejudged them for some what the heck, who knows, because you just thought too much darn about it. And it hits home when it comes to find out that you drive down that street, that person got the product, and you also found out they're able to finance it through another program. Don't prejudge. Hit everything like it's brand new.
Well, I always say the following, and this is what I preach, especially if you're a new canvasser, is that when you go to that door, what do you have?
This thing.
No, you have nothing.
I got my smile. That's it.
I mean, but you don't have anything when you go to that door. So if you leave without anything, you really didn't lose anything.
No, a lot of people like to put their foot by the door, which I strongly suggest not to get that close. But I like to put my head on the door, so at least they slam the door. At least they can see me smiling, saying bye.
No, I usually, and you gotta understand that canvassing in Orlando is completely different than canvassing in South Florida. Canvassing in Tampa is completely different than canvassing in Orlando or South Florida.
It's all different, man.
We actually
Same pitch.
We actually set up a canvassing team in Pennsylvania, and it's completely different in Pennsylvania than it is in Orlando or in South Florida or Tampa.
Oh yeah, completely different.
And from the way that they open the door, and you got to understand if there's been, this is how much of an intricate research you're supposed to do on part of the organization. But if you had some break-ins and you had, people posing as other type of organizations, or you might hear on the TV or the newspaper saying that do not open the doors to strangers. That might not be a good area to go to. You might want to go to maybe scenario number B. And actually, a quick story. Man, the time goes by.
Yeah, it does.
We were in Del Rey, and there was a couple break-ins, FPNL, imposters. There was flyers that went out that if somebody knocks on the door and they don't have ID or anything, to call the police. Well, guess what? We were knocking on the doors, and we had a couple neighbors call the police. The police came and said, "Look, you guys need to get out of here." Well, my regional manager that day was with us, and he says, don't pay attention to them. Let's just move across the street, which we did. Well, the one thing I will tell you, if the police tell you to move out of the way, make sure that you move out of their district. So if you're in Del Rey, then you might want to go to Boca or Lake Worth, but you kind of want to get out of that district, because lo and behold, we went across the street. They called the cops. They came in, and said who's in charge, and they went and actually put the handcuff on them and put it in the back seat and said, we told you to vacate the premises. I mean, it was a bad situation because we actually created it ourselves. If they kindly tell you to move out of the way, move, and that's why you always have plan A and plan B.
That's it. Plan A and plan B. We talk about being organized. That is in your repertoire. If you're the canvas driver, or if you're aspiring to create a canvas team and put somebody in charge, you got to fill their plate up, man. They're in it to win it, and they're also, should be making the money, and everything should be successful. There should be systems in place, scripts in place, everything to be successful. And their systems. Me and Ralph been doing this combined 40 plus years. Thanks for Ralph's age. If you have any questions on the canvassing aspect of things, please reach out to us. I will reach out directly. If you have any questions when it comes to digital marketing leads, reach out to us. We will reach out directly. Look, we're on this half hour every night, action packed, free information. We're here to answer some questions. So, Ralph, what else do we have?
You actually you're taking me right to the next one, which is standard.
Yep.
Every week that there should be a progression with your new guys, and if they got 3, then you got to get them 4. If they got 4, they got to get 8. If they got 8, they got to get 10. And basically, they should be keeping up with their numbers. And once you have an average of your numbers, then you can go ahead and say, okay. This should be my standard. There are standards in the industry based on different from different fields. So from lawn care to home improvement to roofing, you have the hurricane chasers, and you got the tornado chasers.
Those chasers are in it to win it, man. They're serious.
And last but not least, I know we only got a couple more minutes to go. It's all about the compensation. Okay.
I didn't think that we'd get through all the topics, but yeah, go ahead, get in there.
There's a lot of ways of compensating, and your canvassing team. It should be a little bit of a hybrid. Where you can guarantee them the bare minimum wage at one point or another. Sometimes a high commission works well in certain areas, but trying to having a hybrid that works, it's hard to come up with. But with that said, it's definitely doable. The idea is that you should be getting anywhere between $20 to $35 an hour, working somewhat around 30 hours a week. Canvassers don't work 40 hours. They work during the day, a little bit during the night. That's one of the perks of being a canvasser, is that you are out on the street, hitting the pavement, and you want to be able to be fresh in front of of your audience and give them the show, which is your script. Like I think you said it earlier, your top canvassers, they make over $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year.
Easy, 120 if you're really good, if you know what you're doing.
So, and that's not so small, change either. $100,000 it's a decent salary. And again, it depends. In New York, $100,000 might not be, a big thing, but South Florida, Naples, Orlando, Tampa market, definitely it's it's some good numbers. So just keep that in mind.
No, 100%. We're all about marketing, and I'll tell you what, man. I just came across. But I just shared our copy or link and just throwing into everything in my timeline just now, and just to see how much this guy is on point right now, dude. All I did was copy a comment on one of Grant Cardone's posts, and it says, "Alex, thank you for your comment. If you'd like to connect with my message experience and get free training to help increase your income, click below." All I had to do was make a comment on this guy's Facebook. I had a message instantly in my inbox saying, "Alex, give me a shout." It's 2021. That guy is doing something right. And I'm all about, copying people that are doing something right.
All right. Well, it's that time.
It's time.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalksnet and Facebook at ttalksnet. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will T-Talk later.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for tuning into T Talks tonight. We got through it April 27th. My name's Alex DeLuca, and I'm out from Naples.
And this is Raphael from Hollywood, Florida, saying good night, good day.